Okay, I got a question for you, Vince. Based on your workout strategy and how you put together your workouts, when do you think it's necessary to take creatine?
I think the first thing is for people to take creatine is ask themselves, why am I taking this? If it's to make up for a sloppy diet or poor nutrition and poor training habits, then it's probably not going to make up for that. So I like to recommend something like creatine when you're kind of like at an 80-90% threshold in your diet, your lifestyle, your nutrition. So it's kind of something that's going to take you, it's going to help you push that envelope, help you push that threshold when you're already doing everything you possibly can. Then you'll experience the best results, and I think that's the most effective time to use it.
No, it's a good point.
I was going to ask you, John, now, as far as buying creatine to get the best bang for your buck, as far as length of time that you have it in your home, and as far as quality, so that it doesn't go bad, should you be buying it in super huge quantities or smaller quantities? How's creatine's lifespan work?
Okay, so all of these things will have an expiration date on them. If they don't, you might not want to buy that one. But I mean, by law, they have to have an expiration date stamped on them. So you're going to find products on the shelf that are brand new, hit the shelf, so they got like another 2 years until they expire, and you're going to have others that are close to their expiration. Like I said with protein, these things last significantly longer than their expiration. So if you pick one up that expires in a couple of months, you probably get it on sale. So you save money that way because it is expiring. But you've got a good 6 months after the expiration date that it's still fine. Now that's my recommendation. The manufacturer also obviously is not going to kind of go along with that. So that's a way of finding value. But in general, what you need to do is calculate how many grams you're going to take per day. Look at the bottle, see how many servings that gives you, and then come up with your pennies per serving, and just compare each product, and you'll find whichever one's the best value.
Right. What about side effects? Any side effects guys should be aware of?
No, creatine's probably the best studied product on the market. It's been on the market for 20 years, and it's got a pile of research on it, and there's no short or long-term side effects in all the research I've ever seen. It's pretty benign. You get creatine in steak and chicken and meat products. Yeah. You can just they've just found a way to concentrate it out and provide it at a higher dose, so it's pretty safe.
Anything you should look for on the bottle to know that you're getting a good quality product? I always heard that you should be looking for stuff with the word Creapure on it.
Creapure is just a branded kind of creatine. It's what's called micronized creatine. That just means the particle size of the actual creatine's been driven right down to almost like a dust, like a fine powder. That just means it mixes well. Anyone who's taking creatine knows it kind of settles in the bottom of a cup. You're never going to really get creatine to mix perfectly, but that's not the point. As long as you can get it into you, you're doing okay.
All right. What about getting it in you? That's another question. Do you need to take some high sugary drinks? Some juice to get it in your system, or is it in your system when you take it?
There was some research that indicated generating an insulin response, so that's where the sugar comes from, can get the creatine to absorb into the muscle cell because insulin has an effect on creatine absorption as well. But so does working out. If you take creatine post-workout, that's going to drive more creatine in your muscle cell than is if you took it without working out. So you can, but I wouldn't say kill your diet rules and by taking all this extra sugar just for the sake of absorbing creatine. You're going to absorb straight creatine pretty well on its own.
That's a good point. And what kind of results have you personally experienced using creatine?
Well, way back in the day, the first time I took it, I probably put on 11 pounds right away, probably in the first 8 or 9 days. And the thing I noticed beyond that was the strength gain. I mean, it was like night and day after I loaded the creatine. The strength was 10-20% on each lift, I think. It was something to that effect. So I was obviously a big responder. Some people, not everyone gets that kind of response, but you can. Two things you'll notice is immediate weight gain, which is muscle cell volumization, and probably an immediate strength gain.
Yeah. I actually have to use creatine when I'm cutting as well. I know a lot of guys don't do that, but I find that when I'm able to maintain my strength, I'm able to lift heavier weights. If I can do that, I send a signal to my brain to keep the muscle mass on. It helps me maintain my metabolism so I can keep dropping the body fat. So there's a lot of different times you can use it aside from just bulking up and weight gain. You can also use it while you're cutting too. So
that's a good point.
Any other points you want to finalize it?
Well, just to further Vince's point there, what happens with creatine is it draws the water into your muscle. So on a cutting cycle, you'd think, well, I don't want to retain water, but what it actually does, it makes you look even leaner because it pulls the water out from around your skin and into your muscle. So the muscle looks tighter and the skin will actually look leaner around the muscle. So that's another reason why it really works for cutting too.
Yeah, that's a big...